Ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, cheers, welcome. Pull up a pew, grab yourself a beer, a wine, a spot of a Pinot Grigio, whatever's your poison. Welcome back to the Aid Thompson and Other Disappointments podcast, your twice weekly delve into all things awful and bad and disappointing, things like the ongoing frothing, belching march that we're all enjoying or enduring, depending on where you reside on the political landscape, that march towards right-wing authoritarianism. What else is going on? Things like the land grabbing that we're seeing from Israel right now. No ambiguity there now anymore, is there? Just reaching over into Gaza and taking that land. So things like that. Things like the probable handover shortly of significant chunks of Ukraine to Vladimir Putin. It's his reward for illegally invading and murdering tens of thousands of people. The reward for that is, here you go. Here you go, Vlad. I hope you've learned your lesson. Things like that. Things like the next remaining 4 years of Donald Trump's presidency. Things like the limp-dicked resistance that we've come to expect from our own domestic government in almost every regard, who, despite suggesting only weeks ago that they would beat reform at the debate table in a battle of ideas, don't seem any longer to want to challenge Reform UK in really any of their policies whatsoever. So this is going to be a pretty short debate. That one, guys. We're going to beat them at the debate table. I'm like, will you? Really? Really? You're going to beat them at the debate table? Are you sure you won't just, agree on everything and get on like a fucking house on fire? Because that's feeling a bit more likely at the moment. See, seems like you might have quite a lot in common. I don't know. Things like, what other things are going on out there at the moment? Things like celebrity rapist, or alleged celebrity rapist, Sean Diddy Combs. Guys, who is very much the headliner of the New York crime calendar this month. Is he not? You know, big things for Sean Diddy Combs going on at the moment. He hasn't had a hit in 15 years. This is his biggest hit for 15 years. This is how you do it, guys. PR-wise, marketing-wise. You want to get your face back in the news, back in the papers, increase that profile. I'm not saying you got everything right, but, we're talking about him, aren't we? But yeah, Sean Diddy Combs, guys, his trial begins in New York this week. Diddy, better known as Diddy, the famous rapper, producer. He was, of course, arrested last year after, how do you describe it? I mean, really, it was an exercise in a rich guy, a very rich man, making incredibly poor decisions for a rich guy, right? That's basically what he did. He made incredibly bad decisions for a man of his high net worth, is what happened. Because, that is the danger that some very, very rich people find themselves in. Like, they're no longer broke, are they? They're no longer even, wealthy or very wealthy. in the respect that, you know, they might be endangered by their wealth. Like, people might get jealous, they might try to rob them. Because like when you're on $200,000 a year, if you're just wealthy, if you're just like upper middle class, if you like, your BMW, your nice watch, your nice suits, all of that could get lifted, couldn't it? All of that could get stolen. You could get your house broken into. Like, you might think you've got nice security, but you leave your side door open on a Tuesday night and boom, it's all gone. So that's your life when you're sort of wealthy or upper middle class wealthy. But now you're like Diddy. Now you're rich, right? Now you're super rich. In fact, now you've been lifted out of those neighborhoods, away from those risks. You've escaped a lot of that danger, those dangers. But you don't escape danger entirely, do you? It's just a different kind of danger now. It's been scaled up, like, along with your finances. As you've got richer, as the repercussions of your financial decisions have got more serious, so too have the dangers and the risks of other decision-making, other poor decision-making in your life. So now you move in elite circles, right? Now you move via private plane to VIP parties. Now you hang with fucking, you know, guys who own islands even. And when you hang out on those islands, you've all got American Express black cards, don't you? It's a life of privilege. It's a life of being removed from risk, removed from dangers that you may vaguely remember from your life once lived. But the con to that, the downside to all that financial freedom and excess and opulence, is that the danger that you are now in, instead of that street level danger, is making poor, scaled up with your finances, horrendous decisions. Right? That is the danger that you are now swimming in every day as a CEO of a global conglomerate bad boy entertainment. And like, I swear to God, right? There is a whole subset of the super rich who reach that level of wealth. They reach that level of control. But they also have the ego and the narcissism to match the bank balance. And they don't therefore want to pay the lawyers and the advisors and the fixers because they think that they know how to do everything. They have to be in control. Like, as far as they're concerned, they're the main character in the movie, aren't they? They're the protagonist. This is a story about Sean Combs and how much I win at everything. I'm always in control. I made the decisions, right? Main character syndrome, I believe I've seen it referred to as. They think they're the, you know, lead character, like a sort of Scarface type individual, or Gordon Gekko, or, you know, in reality, I suppose, Donald Trump. Similar sort of vibe, right? I'm the star. I'm the main character. To hell with everybody else. And I think that in their mentality, they're like, oh, you know, I just don't need advisors. I don't need fixers and 10 different lawyers. I'm the CEO. I know best. I got myself here, didn't I? I got myself this far. So, you know, fuck hiring another 5 lawyers, another 5 overpriced, Harvard-educated tossers. What do I need them for? I got myself here. I can handle this just fine. You guys have got your fucking degrees. You haven't got street smarts. I've got street smarts. I know what I'm doing. But like, had Diddy got a good lawyer before this blew up, you know, if he'd got a good lawyer, a fixer before that wasn't, overloaded with all of his other stuff, all of his business ventures, this contract, that thing over here. If he had 4 or 5 other lawyers ready to catch one of these things when it fell, maybe managed a deal with Cassie when they split up. Cassie's the lady that's, tabled the allegations, really horrendous allegations at him. And she was going for a deal initially. It's only the fact that he said no to the deal. The whole thing went... So if they'd managed to deal with Cassie when they originally split up, right? Or even years later. If the fixer had phoned her up and gone like, yeah, look, he's disgusting, he's gross, he's going to therapy. He is. Here's the proof. Look, I'll show you. He's going to therapy twice a week. He says he's really sorry. He'll pay you any settlement, any figure that you want. Just please don't tell the cops. And this whole thing could have been avoided. He wouldn't be looking at like 50 years in a federal jail if he had just scaled up the lawyers to match his bank balance, to match his poor decision-making. But what did he do? What did he do? He was like, he said, these are disgusting allegations. He said, I refute them entirely. He said, I'm insulted by them. They are disgusting, said Sean Combs, when he was first accused of myriad horrendous allegations that I won't sour your mood with. So they're disgusting allegations. I refute them. I'm insulted by them. They are disgusting. And then they released a tape, right? The CCTV tape of him just, doing what he's doing on this video. And then his response, he goes, well, okay, that is me. He goes, I'm disgusted by myself. Like this is disgusting now. This is what's disgusting. Like, are you sure, Sean? Are you positive? Because a minute ago you said that the allegations were. Now this is what even is disgusting anymore? And like, I'm not saying that. I want to live in a world where rich men can wriggle out of trouble, can wriggle out of the repercussions of their crimes, and certainly not of this nature. But I do think it's kind of funny when somebody of that level of wealth is ostensibly brought down by nothing more or little more than their own arrogance. So that's really what his crime is in America. That's what he did wrong. Like, think of all the other rich, mostly white men, but rich men. Think of all of the other ones who have done horrendous stuff. Probably loads worse than Diddy. What is the difference between them and Sean Combs? Good lawyers. Good lawyers on the phone going like, you didn't say anything, did you? No. I just read the accusation, then I kept my mouth shut, just like you told me. All right, good stuff. Smart move. I'll speak to you later. But instead, we are left to form the perception that the exchange, the conversation, the negotiation went something along the lines of, how much does she want? The lawyer is like, $25 million. Oh, hell no. Tell that bitch I'll see her in court. Like, how many bad decisions by a megalomaniac, possibly sociopathic billionaire like Diddy, how many bad decisions from somebody like that do you have to have taken to have ended up in court in the sort of trouble that Diddy is now, with the capital that guy commands? What level of poor decision making do you need to have exhibited to still land in jail against the backdrop of so many other billionaires just, getting off scot-free? Like Epstein had that easy case down in Florida. Kevin Spacey, Prince Andrew, Harvey Weinstein we spoke about the other day. He's probably going to get out. Bill Cosby's out. What's his name? Bill O'Reilly from Fox News. He paid the woman like $80 million or something insane to sign her to like an NDA agreement so she could never talk about whatever it was that he did to her that was worth an $80 million check to shut her up. All of these guys, all of these men who are like, yeah, I'll just get my lawyers to take care of that nasty business. How bad do you have to have fucked up as a billionaire like Diddy to land yourself in the sort of trouble that he has, in spite of his wealth, in Land of the Free, where basically every other billionaire would never spend a day in jail, would they? How long till Candace Owens starts campaigning for his innocence is another question that we will not be asking today. Is Sean Combs maybe innocent? Is another one. I don't know if he is or not. But let's sow some doubt. Let's sow that doubt like Candace. Guys, was Sean Combs brought down by the deep state matrix dark forces left-wing establishment? Also no, that's not what has happened here. But may as well call the episode that and, leverage off some of that conspiracy theory YouTube money, right? Okay. But before we move on, I suppose it is important to just remember, and indeed for me to express, that regardless of what Sean Diddy Combs has been accused of, the key word there, regardless of what he's been accused of, it's important to remember the worst thing that Diddy ever did remains that verse on more money, more problems. What else is transpiring out there in Newsland, in current affairs world? Guys, Darren Grimes is now officially an elected councillor. People, viewers, listeners, people of the Booge, Darren Grimes is now officially, as of last week's local elections, an elected Reform councillor. And of course, Darren Grimes is a frequent feature, an ongoing fixture, if you like, of the show. Is he not? Sort of supporting cast member for the Aid Thompson and Other Disappointments podcast. And I am, of course, equal parts supportive of and fascinated by his career move that predates the councillor role. I did a video a few weeks back about his first month as an independent journalist, which you might have seen, since he parted ways with GB News by mutual consent. He was keen to stress, though I sense that maybe that by mutual consent maybe pitches in at about the same level as the one time his mother begrudgingly allowed his father to unload unwrapped deep in the ovary pond. Like, it's more like one side maybe wanted it a little bit more than the other, Darren. Anyway, Darren Grimes is now an independent journalist, just like his other GB News Exodus exile types, Dan Wootton, Lawrence Fox, Mark Stein, Calvin Robinson, Mark Dolan. But he's also an elected councillor now for the Reform UK Limited Company organisation, or whatever the fuck they are this week.
Reform now in control of 10 different councils. Well, among the councillors who was elected last Thursday, I'm delighted to say, is my old mate, Darren Grimes, Reform UK.
I mean, there's really no telling. I mean, it's headed up by Nigel Farage and Monorail's Richard Tice, both of the Brexit Party fame. And the Brexit Party Limited, also a company. The Brexit Party Limited was just given a compulsory strike-off by Companies House. Guys, which, according to Josiah Mortimer, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Josiah Mortimer of Byline Times, he says company directors, Tice was one, could be disqualified and become unable to become a director for 15 years as they have failed to act in the right and proper way. So, yeah. He says any debts the company holds could become the liability of the directors as they have failed to close the company in the correct and lawful manner. So, yeah, that's the Brexit Party winding up somewhat awkwardly. Will Reform UK be run just as efficiently? Who knows? But let's just hope the Treasury is when Tice eventually gets his hands on it. What with his £90 billion of unfunded Trussian tax cuts that he was advertising at the last election. Now, joining him at Reform's next great meeting of the minds, to get to which, I guess you could probably pay £25 to them to be a patriot. That's the deal, apparently. You pay Reform UK Limited £25 and you become a patriot. Guys? Yeah. Only for £25. There's literally no other discernible benefits that I can see on the Reform Party become a member page. It's literally paid £25 to become a member / patriot. But I assume that there are other benefits. Let's assume that you do get some uptick, some payback in some form for your membership for your £25. Let's assume that you do get invited to something. You, along with Richard Tice, Nigel Farage. If that is the case, then you could, at this great meeting of the minds, you could maybe meet Darren Grimes, couldn't you? Now that he's an elected Reform councillor. Guys, exciting times, big things. Yeah, he might be there too. Perhaps. Assuming he's not somewhere in the depths of their HR department answering allegations of sexual harassment by then. Because, he's managed to evade repercussions from the allegations that were tabled the first time. He denies the allegations, of course, and, maybe they're not true. Maybe it was all just hot air, smoke and mirrors. Maybe it's all just made up. But it never came to anything the first time. But if it should come up a second time, if somebody else were to allege in Reform that he had not been behaving himself, conducting himself in a right and proper manner, he could find himself. He's not Diddy, is he? He's not a billionaire. He hasn't got the kind of money to wriggle out of those repercussions. So assuming he's not in the depths of their HR department, as I say, answering questions about allegations of sexual harassment, maybe he might make it to whatever that Reform event is that is not advertised on their membership page. Guys. And what I say about, Reform's HR processes and, taking allegations of that nature seriously, because I'm sure that they do, say what you like about Reform, but they don't mess about when it comes to their HR processes. They really, really don't. They might think diversity and inclusion is woke. Trans has gone too far, and they might want to set fire to your employment rights by way of leaving the ECHR. But when it comes to in-work employment processes, they do actually take that stuff pretty seriously. So they do. And that's an assertion to which I'm sure Rupert Lowe can attest. But Darren Grimes, let's get to the point, Aid, for goodness sake. Darren Grimes has been back on his Substack this week. So he's been elected as a councillor, but he's also gone back onto his Substack as an independent journalist. So he has. So this clip here, let's talk about it. Let's see what he's up to. This was from St. George's Day. It looks like. Let's see how he's getting on, shall we? I'm excited. I am. I said to my missus earlier, I said, Darren Grimes has got a new video up. So if you need me for anything today, school run, nursery run, help to hang up the washing, sort the dinner out for the kids. If you need me at all today and you can't find me, I'll be right out here in the cabin on the edge of my seat. Because Darren Grimes, I told her, I said, Darren Grimes has got a new video up. He's back. She's left the room by this point. She's like followed her own eye roll out the door. I'm like, because Darren Grimes got a new video. She's like, oh. I said he's delivering his Substack subscribers the free speech content that he wasn't able to say when he was still at the mercy of those bloody leftist regulators, infringing on his free speech. But now that he is free, now that he's escaped the clutches of Ofcom, he can finally tell you the truth, and me the truth. He can't be held back. So he's posted his latest video here on Darren Grimes Unleashed. Are you ready, guys? Let's take a look.
It is, of course, St. George's Day, so I have draped myself in the flag of St. George. And, of course, this is our national flag. I've already had Emily Thornberry at the door asking me to take off this horrible, horrible racist rag, she called it. I couldn't quite believe it.
Okay, so what is he doing here? He's referencing Emily Thornberry's much fabled tweet from about, what was it, like 12 years ago or something, where she made light of the number of flags hanging out of the windows of a house that she was walking past or door knocking near to, campaigning or something. Like, I remember that story when it bubbled up. And I remember her getting into trouble for it and subsequently getting fired by Ed Miliband, basically. But I always look at this stuff like it's not racist to hang the St. George's flag, the England flag, out of the window. That in itself is not racist. But if you do bother to hang it out of the window and it's not an England game on the telly, which it wasn't, and it's also not St. George's Day, which it wasn't. I mean, maybe on Emily Thornberry's side of things, maybe there's an element of classism and snootiness to it, but it's also a bit like, you know, like what exactly are you doing there, mate? You know, what is it for? What is it for? Why have you still got those things hanging out of your window? Like, not everyone that I know who flies a St. George's Cross flag is a racist. Not all of them are. But 100% of the people who I know who fly the St. George's flags in their cars all over the thing, like throughout the year and all of, they always do it for negative, pissy reasons. Like, unless it's a football game, unless it's St. George's Day, it's like, why have you got the St. George's flag hanging out of your van? Well, why can't I? Why can't I? Have you got a problem with my flag? Have you got a problem with my country? Like, that's not coming from a good place, is it? That's coming from a confrontational, combative place. Now, that's like the English nationalist version of like walking around, like Die Hard with a Vengeance, when he walks around with like the N-word on the sandwich board thing. It's like, no, you can't say it. Well, you can say it, so why can't I say it? Like, what are you talking about? Why would you bother? Why are you bothering to try to say the thing? Like, you're catching a lift in the van with your mate. You see the St. George's. Is it? Are England playing tonight? No. Why can't I fly my flag? It's like, I mean, it seems like kindling. Seems like you're only flying it to get into this confrontation. Here, it's not coming from a good place. 100% of the time, people I know that bother to fly that flag. Put their flag up, wind it up in the window. Yeah, it's my flag and there's nothing you can do about it. Look, it's like that, isn't it? That is the vibe. That's the subtext. Every time. Or, they come at you sort of half intellectually. They say, well, I don't think that it is racist to fly the English flag, right? You're just representing Britain. You love your country. Your granddad fought in the war for England and has always been an Englishman and all of that. I don't think that it is racist. I don't recognise that, Aid. I don't see the racial undertones of it. I just see my country. I don't think that it is racist to fly the English flag, Adrian. And I'm like, no, I get that. I get, I'm not an idiot. I just play one on the internet. No, it's not racist in and of itself. The flag itself is not a racist piece of cloth or whatever. I accept that. And then they go, right, well, what's the problem? And I'm always like, I don't know if I can articulate, like, I'm like, the problem is that it was this flag that was waved in people's fucking faces in the 1980s. It was this flag that was tattooed onto angry skinheads' shoulders. And you might not like it and you might not recognize it as what I'm about to say, but it became a sort of mascot for the racism. It became a symbol of the racism that the racists could rally around. Like, oh, I see him with the St. George's Choir. He's one of my people. And he's got a shaved head. It became the mascot, the symbol of the racism. And you were alive in the 80s, Gary. Imaginary Gary in my head that I'm now arguing with because I'm an emotionally healthy person. You were alive in the 80s. So frankly, it's a bit weird to me. It's a bit weird to us all that you are willing to overlook all of that historical context and just dismiss it, all of that, and how it might make your friends feel. How uncomfortable it might make us all when you angrily fly it. Belligerently fly it in our faces to make a fucking point. Like, it's weird that doesn't even occur to you.
Happy St. George's Day, first of all, to each and every one of you. Unless, of course, you are, as I mentioned there, part of the professional offence-taken class.
And like, are we really supposed to take this sort of stuff seriously? From people like Darren Grimes, from the GB News alumni. Are we really supposed to take this sort of criticism seriously when they talk about snowflakism and the permanently offended, the suggestion that we're all fucking snowflakes who just shit our tits when we see a piece of cloth, a flag that we don't like, we just can't handle it? Like, are we really supposed to just sit here and take this from a Crayola gargling right who set fire to rainbow flags in their back garden on Father's Day when they should be hanging out with their kids? Their friends are like, well, what the fuck? Why are you so angry? It's got a rainbow on it. It's got all the colours. It's got a rainbow. Lawrence's family and his therapist and his family lawyer are all sat around in a circle in his courtyard going like, Lawrence, what is this, what is this really about? Do you want to come and sit down with us? I hate love. I hate happiness. Like Lawrence, just put the kerosene down. Please put it down. Put down the matches, Mr. Fox. Are we supposed to take this from a political right, who flip out when they see an LGBTQ flag in the foyer of a town hall? They see just a corner of the LGBT flag and they break out in a fucking coronary. Like, Reform this week, right? For whom Darren Grimes is now an elected councillor. Reform UK Limited Company, whatever. They were literally, like, one of their first press releases that they put out after the local elections. They said, we're going to ban all the flags that we don't like from the town halls. That's it. No more flags. We don't. That one can stay because that's a UK one, and this one's in St George's Cross. It's fine, I suppose. But if you dare put up a rainbow flag, or oh my lord, the European Union flag. Oh Lord, I'll be cross. I'll be very, very cross indeed.
Professional offence-taking class who actually think that the cross of St George is somehow a symbol of hate.
Like who? Who exactly is the permanently offended by flags brigade here, Grimes?
Professional offence-taking class who actually think that the cross of St George is somehow a symbol of hate.
Nice little fake laugh there. Feeling it. I mean, it'd be easy to mock this little thing here, wouldn't it? Like when the right try comedy. But no, I think it's hilarious. Good stuff, Darren. It's obviously hilarious, which is why it's even made Darren Grimes himself laugh at it. In fact, you know what? I might keep that as my own, canned laughter when I do a funny bit. It was that convincing.
I mean, tonight, I want us to do, my friends, what the elites want, which is to celebrate England.
The elites. Christ. I mean, I sort of feel sorry for him, in a way. Do you think he knows what he's going to be doing now that he's a councillor? Because I was taking the piss out of him the other night on Tan's show. She does a live stream now on a Sunday. I was like, he thinks now that he's elected, he's going to be grandstanding behind a podium, belching on about refugees and boats and invasions and national net migration figures and, all of his usual nonsense. But he's going to be in for a wild ride, a real, baptism of fire awakening on day one. When they're like, so you're the new starter, are you? The new boy? Okay, well, welcome aboard. Darren, isn't it? Yeah, Darren, of course it is. Of course it is. I don't suppose you know, do you know how to use Excel, Darren? Because none of us do we, Shelley? You don't know how to use it. What about you, Nina? No, of course you do. You don't, do you? God, you don't know what you do with computers, do you, silly bitch? Christ alive. Anyway, if you do know Excel, Darren, if you wouldn't mind just jumping on Excel, updating the holiday calendar, because none of us can do it. It's good to know when everybody's off, isn't it? And then please do stop by Tuesday lunchtime. We're going to talk about the refuse and recycling budget. There'll be tea and biscuits there. So I'll see you then, Darren. Once again, welcome aboard. That's going to be his day one. Day two. Rope and a stool.
England, what a marvellous gift to the world England has been.
Oh, God.
I think it was King Ethelstan, who actually managed to unify England first of all. And since he
let me just bite my lip. Should we just let him have his moment? Shall we? Yeah, okay. Off you go, son.
What a rich inheritance we have on this little rock of ours. Right, so, as you may well be aware...
Oh, look who's gone and got himself a little cheeky 2-cam setup. I guess that GB News redundancy check just dropped.
Scotland, well, up there, they have St Andrew's Day. Wales observe the holiday of St David. But what have we got here in this country? Oh, we've got Labour politicians telling us that we're xenophobic, swivel-eyed racists.
Isn't it weird how when the oppressor wants to basically fly around their symbols, their flags, they're symbols of the oppression, right? That is what this all comes down to. It's like, if you're an underdog, fine. If you're a woman in a world of sexist, inhospitable, chauvinistic, violent men, right, it is fine for you to have an International Women's Day. Then it's like, go and see what they're saying. Go and listen to what it's their day. It's time for you to listen. They are the underdogs in this, right? If you're a gay person in a world of straight people where they have historically murdered you for just being you, right? It's hard to be taken seriously sometimes, or understood, or being given opportunities in the workplace against straight people, or cis males, cis women, whatever. Fine, have a Pride Month, right? Fly your flag a bit. We go see what they're saying in that month. We listen to people who talk about what it means to be gay in England in the 21st century and how you can help them. So if you're a woman in the world of men, you get International Women's Day. If you're a gay person, lesbian person, trans, you have Pride Month. It's time for us to listen. If you're a grizzly bear in a cave of squirrels, and the squirrels are all like, dancing around with flags saying, squirrel rights, please don't hurt us. Please don't eat us. Here's how you, the grizzly bear, can be a better squirrel ally. And then instead of that, instead of helping, instead of listening to them, there in the cave, what do? You pull out your big black placard that says, fucking Bear Day. And imagine this, it's the same flag you were flying around all of the times that you ran through the cave, scooping up the other squirrels and biting their heads off in front of this lot, while laughing to yourself then and now, holding this flag, Bear Day, Bear Day. Like, you could see, can't you? You could see maybe why the bear flag, the fucking Bear Day flag, you could see and understand why that might not be necessary. Like, why it might not be priority one to give the bears another day off.
But what have we got here in this country?
To use at their leisure. Like, all of the squirrels are like, oh, did you hear? They gave them another bank holiday off. Oh, no. What are they going to use it for? Well, I don't fucking know. Probably kill us and eat us. Well, the last time they had too much time on their hands. Traditionally, historically, that's what they do. They run around with the flags and they kill us and eat us. What the fuck do you think is going to happen this time?
We get a diversity push. We get told that it's not inclusive enough. And I just have to say, very, very calmly and quietly, but severely.
Hang on, wait, what?
Very calmly and quietly, but severely.
Is that even possible?
And I just have to say, very calmly and quietly, but severely.
Like, I feel like he's trying to say, I just have to say, calmly, quietly, and curtly. That sounds like something that somebody might say. Calmly, quietly, but firmly might be another one. Assertively, maybe. Severely doesn't. I don't think that works.
And I just have to say, very calmly and quietly, but severely.
Calmly, quietly, and severely. I just have to say this calmly, quietly, severely. It just doesn't work, does it? It's like, oh, how have your legs been since the level crossing accident? Well, I was actually really hoping that you wouldn't bring this up, but yeah, I'm actually, in case you hadn't noticed, I'm severely disabled now, Aid. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, didn't you? Like, what happened? Like, did you not hear it coming? What happened? No, I didn't hear it coming at all. How the fuck not? It was an intercity 12 carriage. Well, because it approached me calmly, quietly, and severely damaged my spinal cord. Aid is a plausible explanation for what happened.
That enough is enough. This is England, right?
Oh, steady on.
It's time we had a national day that isn't steeped in either guilt or grovelling. Scotland, as I say, St Andrew. Wales, St David. Northern Ireland, St Patrick. England, we get a shrug and a diversity workshop. Enough is enough. This is England.
Like, come on, Daz. You're gonna lose the crowd with the swivel-eyed loons thing if you start channeling that Shane Meadows drama where the title is literally taken from a speech from the far-right racist Darren. What are you even doing?
This is England.
I don't know, man. Like, sometimes I feel bad for sort of like, you know, picking on him a little bit, you know, because he's younger than me. He's a bit daintier maybe than I am. Although for some reason I feel like he's a little bit taller than I'm only like 5'8.5" or something on a good day. So I don't know. Maybe he could beat me up. Maybe I should watch my mouth. But there's always this part of me that's just like I don't think you get to say the nonsense that you do, either on GB News or on your Substack or as a representative of Reform UK Limited Company LLP PLC or whatever. I don't think you get to say that stuff and then just get off scot-free. I think if the peak of your worries is that somebody like me says some shit about you on the internet, you know, like what was a post that got like 1,000 reposts the other day? I said something like, nice work, Reform, really solving the grooming gang's problem, like by fighting fire with fire, by handing over a northern council to a guy who looks like a shiny child sex doll that nonces used to self-medicate. Like, I can't help myself. I just can't help myself. Guys, like if the worst that happens to you against this sort of backdrop of industrial and social decline, ballooning, exploding poverty, climate change, if the worst that happens to you is you flick on YouTube and you see me talking at you calmly, quietly, but severely, I mean, I don't know. Call me a prick if you like, but I don't think you're doing too bad if that's all you have to deal with. All right, that's it, guys. A little bit shorter than I would like. But, you know, I can't spend my entire evening out here roasting Darren Grimes. If you're not a member of the Patreon yet and you haven't joined the channel, then what are you even doing? There's a join button on my profile on YouTube, and there is, of course, Patreon links inside the description and everything. You can jump on that. It starts at only £1 a month, guys. And we have a Patreon meetup on Saturday, the 7th of June. I want to say whatever that Saturday is, that's when we're all meeting up in London. So jump on the Patreon now or the YouTube community and you can come along to that too. I will be back on Friday night with the Friday Night Live show. And of course, I will be back most days with the alternative paper review. So until next time, keep it booge, keep it Bimfluencer, and we are out this motherfucker. Cha!